And he caused all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Hear his wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. Hello, everybody. This is Brother Chutra thinking out loud about the end times. It would be my pleasure if you could join me today in our study of this particular subject about the mark of the beast and about the barcode. Now, I made a recent purchase at Walmart. Nothing sophisticated, but a lovely orange t-shirt. Cost me less than $5. And I bought a brand called Fruit of the Loom. I'm sure all of you are familiar with that company. And, as we make purchases on any particular items, we don't think very much about exactly the process that um, merchants go through to know the price of an item. We're just so conditioned that they run the product through a scanner, and we know of this UPC code that has all these lines that have some sort of a meaning to them, and we get our price, we get our product, and move along. But if we really consider this UPC code a little bit more carefully, we might find some interesting things that may actually play a part in the end time beast system. Now we know that the UPC codes seem to have been around forever, but in all actuality, they haven't. Now, their standard UPC code has lines which represent numbers. I want you to consider the number 6. If you look at the number 6 on UPC code, you will eventually be able to decipher it that the number 6 are two straight thin lines that are next to each other. If we look at the UPC code, there are 3 placement numbers that are before and in the middle and at the end of the code. These 3 numbers don't change regardless of the product or the merchandise or even the manufacturer. And these 3 particular numbers that are constant in UPC codes happen to be 6, 6, 6. Let's do a little bit more background study to find out if this is just coincidental, or is this something that has been planned and has been put into effect by the enemy of our souls, and also for the future planning of a new system of buying and selling that might be just around the corner. A short history of the modern barcode. This is written by a person who goes by 99% Invisible, posted on the web on a website called The Slate. When George Lawler goes to the grocery store, he doesn't tell the checkout people that he invented the barcode, but his wife used to point it out. A time without barcodes is hard to imagine now, but it wasn't that long ago. And the story doesn't start with George Lawler. In 1948, Woodland was trying to come up with a simple symbol that, when scanned, would translate to a number that a computer could use to identify a product. Legend has it that he came up with this modern design while sitting on the beach in Miami. He was puzzled over the whole thing, thinking about Morse code and tracing circles in the sand when finally bullseye, the very first barcodes were in the shape of a bullseye. Though they weren't called barcodes yet, Woodland's invention was patented in 1952 as a classifying apparatus and method, but Woodland's apparatus would gather dust for 20 years. The scanners and other equipment needed to put the system in place were too expensive. Finally, in 1973, a group of supermarket executives led by Alan Haberman decided they needed to get some kind of scannable symbol in place to move people through checkout lines faster. They laid out a list of specifications that their ideal symbol would have and asked 14 companies, including IBM, come up with a solution. That's where George Laurer comes into the story. Laurer was working at IBM at the time and was tasked with making Woodland's circular classifying apparatus and method work, but Laurer didn't think the bullseye would fulfill the specifications set forth by the grocery industry, so he set out to make something that would. Eventually, Laurer came up with a rectangular design that fit more code into less space and didn't smear on the presses like Woodland's bullseye symbol did. The Symbol Selection Committee voted unanimously for Laurer's rectangular symbol and code, which they named the Universal Product Code, or UPC. A year later, in 1974, a pack of Wrigley's chewing gum became the first item to be scanned with a UPC barcode. According to GS1, Global Standards 1, the agency which issues barcode numbers, there are about 5 billion barcodes scanned every day around the world.
If we could pause and just think about the question, is the barcode evolving eventually into the mark? Now, I don't mean the literal barcode, because I believe that the barcodes are here to stay and will be even present during the tribulation period. But the very concept of the barcode is evolving into the mark. Now, we know that the barcode definitely has its use and its purpose. Otherwise, it would have faded away and something would have taken its place. It serves its purpose. You stop and think of the barcode in regards to products that we purchase, that these products that are owned by the store, and they have a code on them, and those codes represent an identifier, a manufacturer, and a number, a price, if you will. And when that product is scanned, that price is processed by the register, which is a computer, and it is added up with other products that have other codes, and the order is tallied up. The purchaser makes his or her purchase, and that product now goes from ownership of the store, the merchant, to the consumer. Well, we're going to take a look, not at this moment, but at the mark and how that sort of concept has similarities with the mark, which is coming right around the corner, and the reality of that this technology very well could have been Satan's tool as he started to strategize and prepare for the end times and for his man to come on the scene and for his system to be implemented. As we've said in other videos, we believe that Satan knows his time is short, and he is a strategist, and he has been working his strategy and his plan for the end times. This technology that began with the barcode and has been evolving and growing is now at a certain level where the world plans domination and control for the Antichrist to take over this system is present and able to be executed. Satan tends to work slowly in getting the world to be more and more desensitized to sin and also desensitized to his ways. You don't think nothing much of barcodes when you go shopping in the grocery store. And when you stop and think about how time has passed, I remember going into a Trader Joe's and the cashier said, "Do you have a chip?" And at the time, I paused at the moment, wondering if he was asking me if I purchased a bag of potato chips. But then I realized that at the time, credit cards started receiving and having chips on them. And then I said to him, "Oh, yes, I do have a chip." But the chip was on my credit card. No longer did I need to swipe my credit card on a magnetic strip reader. Rather, I had this quote unquote safety, more advanced technology where I could make a purchase and have better protection to my privacy and security, my credit card. Little did I know at the time that this was just another step in this process to try to gain more and more control of the consumer and our freedoms to be more and more compromised. This is Satan's subtle way of working towards his ultimate plan. When we stop and consider what is offered with the UPC technology and also the other technologies that we have, we could see why that the escape of efficiency, security, convenience, accuracy, profitability, and ease are a big sell to those who are looking towards an easier, simpler, more efficient way to go about their purchases and to go about selling products. Both merchants and consumers will agree that today's technology has made it easier than ever to make purchases and also to sell items. However, do we consider that in exchange for this technology that we have and are forfeiting and at the very best compromising our freedoms, our privacy, our ability to choose, our individuality, and even control? Today, like never before, with the internet, with the excessive use of credit cards and debit cards, electronic purchases, that there is a way to track consumer activity like never before. As we become more and more a cashless society, this gives more and more control to those who sell products. In fact, as you see more and more mom and dad shops and businesses go under, the big merchants such as Walmart and Target gain more and more, and Amazon gain more and more control to be able to sell you and control the prices and not have to worry too much about competition. So, if you take a step back and see what has happened in the last several decades, you, my friend, are under the microscope, whether you realize it or not. And this is all working swiftly into the beast system. And now is the time for us to wake up and realize that this efficiency, security, convenience, accuracy, profitability, and ease is something actually we need to escape from.